What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Multiverse Monologues, the podcast show where we like to travel across the multiverses and fandoms. Then we love to talk about the movies and television shows that accompany those universes. We are back with the Marvel movie marathon. It has been a long time. It has been a long and very busy summer, but Multiverse Monologues is back with the Marvel movie marathon. Do you guys remember Ryan Reynolds from Blade Trinity? Do you guys remember him?
Try to forget.
I remember him.
I remember him from X-Men Origins. Yes, the iconic X-Men Origins.
That one too.
I remember how sick he was with dual wielding katanas.
Oh yeah.
Oh
He's a
man.
beast.
Well, he's back. He's back with Deadpool.
Don't tell me he's dual wielding katanas again.
He's doing it again.
Wow.
But I think this time he's doing it way better. Way better.
What about when he had
better?
double katanas coming out like Wolverine? I mean,
I don't know. Like Ethan said, try to forget. Try to forget. We are back. We're talking Deadpool with Multiverse Monologues. Back with the Marvel movie marathon. And we are excited to do so because like I said, it's been a while. It's been too long here, and but yeah, introductions are in order, reintroductions are in order. My name is Ben Rayside, co-host of the Marvel Movie Marathon, and alongside me are the gentlemen who helped make this show possible. You haven't forgotten their names, I haven't forgotten their names, but we're gonna do introductions anyway. Mr. Ethan Westloff, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and we heard the clamoring, we heard the complaining. Guys, where are the podcasts at? Let's just be real. We quit. We are done. Fans, Four Stick, we quit. We're done. That was an awful experience. But we heard you guys. You wanted us back. And actually, today we were going to have Ryan Reynolds join us on the podcast, but we just didn't have the budget for it. So it didn't happen.
Nice. Good poll. Also joining us, we also have Micah. Micah, how are you doing?
ooh, did I leave the stove on? Wait. Oh, it's off. We're good. So I'm having a good day today.
Nice. Very, very good. Well, we're excited to talk Deadpool, and we hope you're excited too, because we definitely got a very interesting movie to get into. And technically, I would say, if we're going by our Multiverse Monologues chart here, this would be the start to the Phase 3.
I'd say this
Marvel
is the end of
films?
Phase 2.
Or
It's
end
the
of Phase
same
2,
year
okay.
as Phase 3, but we're going to say it's the end of Phase 2, just to
Okay.
give him another bone.
Micah's got it all on a spreadsheet right now, and it all looks nice and dandy. So I
I
guess
don't want to end a phase on Fan 4 Stick.
No one does. No one does. So yeah, we're gonna get into Deadpool. But before we do, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. We just passed, I think it's been 400 since the last time we've talked, but we passed that 400 subscriber point. Thank you guys to everyone. It's a pretty big milestone, so we thank you for that. Go on to YouTube, subscribe. But without further ado, gentlemen, let's go over to the Fox X-Men universe to talk about Deadpool.
Wait! You may be wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed. This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
This film tells the origin story of Wade Wilson, a former Special Forces operative who is diagnosed with terminal cancer and subjected to an experimental treatment that gives him accelerated healing powers, but also leaves him horribly disfigured. Wade adopts the alter ego Deadpool and sets out to track down the man who ruined his life. Along the way, he teams up with a group of mutants, including Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus, to stop a rogue experiment from creating more mutants like him. That is your plot synopsis for the 2016 movie Deadpool, a movie that was in production and had studio heads and fans both clamoring for a release for a long time. I'm sure we all know of the stock footage that was released to the public of Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool costume on the bridge, singing a song, very iconic, and that is what greenlit this idea for a movie. And the budget, I can't wait to hear the budget breakdown from Micah, because that's going to be an interesting for the number to see how profit margins work. But I know this movie did very, very well. Had a lot of people who were fans of the Deadpool comic very happy. But this is, what is it, 6-7 years later now? 2023, how does Deadpool ring true in the year 2023? That's what we're here to figure out, to hear and to apply it to our massive ranking. I believe this is number 38.
40.
40?
This is 40.
40th film. Wow.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is not. There's
Yep.
no way. Oh
Our
my
last
gosh,
one,
wow.
Fan 4 Stick, was 39.
Wow. Okay, so this is our 40th film. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see. And I'll shoot this one to Mr. Wenslaw first because, right, you haven't seen it?
Yeah, this is my first time watching this movie. So, yeah, there's a reason I hadn't watched this movie before. It's because I was never interested in it. I knew what it was about. I knew the character Deadpool. I know he's kind of raunchy, and it's a little more graphic, a little more violent, a little more sexual, not a little more, very sexual. And all those elements are reasons I was like, nah, I passed on the movie until today. I watched it for the podcast. And I got to say, a lot of my reasoning for not wanting to watch this movie came true when I was watching this movie. And I can see, yes, the writing's very good. The direction's very good. The acting is very good. This isn't a movie catered for me.
Yeah.
In this movie, this will kind of help you judge how I viewed this movie. Is my favorite character is Colossus, and I relate to him a lot. And the foil he is with Deadpool and Wade Wilson. I know this is an anti-hero movie, and all the stuff they do is on purpose, and it's kind of like making fun of the whole superhero genre. But when I think of superhero genre, I don't think of this, and I don't know. A lot of me watching this movie, I felt kind of dirty watching this movie. A lot of the time, I was like, I don't know if this is something I want to revisit. But that being said, I can remove myself from my own like personal feelings towards it and go, yeah, it is like what they were trying to do. I think they did it really well. I think they captured who Deadpool is and what he's doing. But I'm iffy on it. I'm ready to talk about it, but I don't love this movie. I don't love this movie.
I think you can have that same description for your thoughts on Howard the Duck. You know, you said they were going for a thing and they did that thing, so it's good, right?
Right.
Right.
It just, I agree with Ethan on this. And I'll get into it more when I explain it, but it's just not necessarily a movie that is catered for me. You know, like the kind of movies I enjoy, this is not one of those movies that is just, it's like, hey, we've made a film for Ben. I would say Top Gun Maverick last year, that was a movie made specifically for Ben, you know? And like, I understand if people don't have that in their, it's a good movie. That movie is like something that I love. This movie is just not really,
And like this is very much a cult classic. People
yes.
adore this film. James Gunn, like one of our favorite superhero directors, puts this as one of his top 5 superhero films of all time.
I think it's one of the most influential of the recent ones because it really, like how Guardians set the tone for what comedy could be in superhero movies, this set the tone for how far superhero movies can go in an adult way. I think that without Deadpool, The Boys wouldn't exist.
Logan wouldn't exist.
Logan wouldn't exist.
I don't think. This proved that a rated R film could be released in theaters
We may have
and
not
make
even
a
gotten-
ton of money.
We may not even gotten like Joker or Snyder Cut
Yep. Yeah.
or many things like that.
Yes, I agree. So Ethan, not as big on it. I think.
Yeah, but it's also like I'm a guy who penis jokes don't work for me. That's just how I am. But I know
Yeah.
that there are plenty of people that does work for.
I giggled.
You know, right? Like
Well, okay. So what did you think?
Let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
So this came out 2016. What were we? 8th grade, freshman year?
Yep.
I think it was still 8th grade because I think I was
freshman.
yeah. So I was in 8th grade. I was still in Boy Scouts at the time. I quit. I think either freshman or 8th grade year. But when this movie came out, everybody I knew went to see this. Everybody. I didn't go see it when it came out because my parents were a bit more strict with rated R things back then. I don't even think I had seen a rated R movie at that point. Maybe I don't know. But definitely not this movie. And I remember I didn't really want to see this movie because, one, I wasn't super into Marvel at the time. And two, I thought it was a movie for people who like Monster, like the drink, and played
dude,
Call
that
of
is
Duty.
such a good pull.
Yeah, I thought it was
awesome.
just for people that watched Monster or drank Monster, played Call of Duty, and just like swore all the time. And that wasn't me. Like that was the opposite of me in middle school.
You're not wrong with that.
I mean,
thing.
I mean that's still me now. I don't. So I put off watching it for a long time. The first time I watched it was, fast forward like 3 years later. I was dating this girl, and she was a Marvel person. She loved Marvel. She was like, all right, which Marvel movies have you not seen? I was like, well, I haven't seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen Deadpool. You haven't seen Deadpool? Yeah, I haven't seen Deadpool. All right, we're watching it right now. We watched it right there on her little like 27-inch TV in her room. That was the first time
Mike
I
has
watched
come a
Deadpool.
long way from IMAX Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Yeah. Last week I saw 1570 millimeter IMAX Oppenheimer. If there's a theater near you, viewer, watch it. It is definitely worth it. But Deadpool, I think that like I said earlier, this movie paves the way for what adult humor could be in a superhero context, and I think it does it very well. It's not a movie that really my morals tell me it's wrong. Ethan said he feels dirty watching it. I agree. I mean, it's a dirty movie. It's very raunchy. It's very violent. It's gory. It's vulgar. It's everything you want out of a Deadpool movie. It's exactly what it needs to be. It caters exactly to their audience. They knew exactly who's going to watch this movie. And that's about it.
Right.
I mean, I think it even goes beyond that too, because I don't know how story heavy the Deadpool comic is, but the drama in the first half is kind of good. When he finds out he has cancer, the acting from Ryan Reynolds and what's her name? Is it Vanessa? That's the character's name.
Yeah.
Vanessa. That's really good.
Yeah.
I could feel that when he wakes up and he's sitting there on the chair and he's just like taking in what could be his final moments with his girlfriend.
No, that's good. You feel
That's
the weight
good.
of that scene.
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
feel the
okay.
weight of these scenes. The writing okay, I take it back. I don't think that the writing is quite there for the emotional bits, but the acting is definitely there. The directing was totally there. And if not for Ryan Reynolds' quips, if not for his... I think you can take out a lot of the jokes and it would still hold up because they throw every single joke at the dartboard. And no matter which one lands, it's still pretty funny. And most of them hit. Most of them land pretty good. And yeah, I mean... I've seen this. This would be my third time now. I watched it with my dad when we were doing our X-Men watch through. If you guys have been following along with the podcast, you'll know that we did an X-Men watch through with my dad. And this was the movie that had him stop the watch through. We watched it and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think I want to watch the second one."
That seems like a stopping point, especially for a dad.
So we watched Apocalypse and we watched Logan. And we didn't watch Deadpool 2.
Makes sense, yeah.
I think an apt title for this review of Deadpool is 3 Christian dudes watch Deadpool are flabbergasted. You know, because I
don't
also
drink Monster.
I
I've had a
also
monster, though. We ventured into the monster realm.
That is, we've dipped our toes.
I actually don't think I've ever had a monster.
I've had
before in my
one
life.
sip. That was it. One sip, and it was Tech Week
man.
for a play I was in.
Stay away from me.
I know I'm just such a novel person.
But I agree. When I was not allowed to watch this movie. I've only seen this movie once before, and I did so illegally, man. Me and my buddy sat down. We pirated it off of a website and watched it on his laptop. It was on
Amazing.
Shout out
Amazing.
to Noah Kitchen, man. I'm gonna shout you out right
His
now.
last name's Kitchen?
His last name is Kitchen.
The chef?
Yeah.
What does he do now?
He
cook food?
I believe he is in.
He better cook
construction.
food.
No.
Does he at least make anything good food?
Chimichangas?
I think he has.
Chimichangas?
Yeah, he has made some good
What a
food.
cool menu
Yeah.
in the Deadpool Blu-ray. It's like the
I agree.
microwave with the chimichanga.
Yes. I remember liking
Or was
it
it
as a
burrito or whatever?
kid, this movie, and I really did not have a good time with it.
You didn't have a good time at all?
So here's my thing. I think in 2016, these jokes were a lot better. And now, this is a movie where I give points because this is exactly, as you said, what it was trying to do. So I
It
can't
caters directly to the audience it wants
you
to
can't
hit.
get any
It
more
does.
faithful than this.
Exactly. This
People
is a
love
very,
this movie, yeah.
very faithful.
And we're not
action.
taking that away from them.
I actually
either.
give
Yeah.
it points because of that. It's just this is not at all my kind of movie, and I think a lot of Ryan Reynolds jokes I liked as a 16-year-old
high schooler, high school boy.
And as a 22-year-old guy now, I don't.
We're in a different life spot.
Yeah, no, many of the jokes fell flat, and found myself disliking a good portion of just his quips. You know, and I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan. Like, I like his acting style. I'm interested to see how it goes in Deadpool 2 because I have not yet seen that film.
Oh.
But many of the jokes did not go. And as a character who is very joke heavy, I think that kind of hurts the film for me personally. And I have to look at these films as both objectively, but more so subjectively. How do I feel about how well it executes these elements? How do I feel, how I enjoy the movie? And I didn't have as good a time as I did when I was 16 years old watching this movie. I didn't enjoy it that much. Now, there are some really good elements to this movie. I think the action is great. I think
So good.
the way it's filmed, the violence, and how carefree it is, it's off the charts crazy.
And if we're talking like suits, the suit is awesome.
Yes.
How much of it is
such
CG?
a cool suit. I think more of it is CG than like a lot of the mask. I think is CG,
A lot of
But-
Spider-Man masks are CG too, though.
but I think the rest of the suit is pretty practical.
Yes.
And as far as like even when you see set photos of him in the suit, a lot of it looks really really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell when he goes into CG mode when he's like doing a flip or whatever. And okay, yeah, it's fine.
But
Like,
superhero
it's a
movie.
stunt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's gonna be CG, but it looks pretty consistent.
This isn't a Iron Man. He has a bulk suit. And not even in the recent like Endgame Infinity War. He had nothing on. He's wearing the suit.
He
set
had clothes
photos are
on. Let's
there.
clarify.
Hey, yeah, that's true. That's very true. But
He
like
did have a Hugh Jackman printout under his mask.
a lot, and a lot of the reason this is so good is because they had this kind of devotion to accuracy. No, we're going straight off the comics. We're ripping this costume. Honestly, one of the best costumes along this whole marathon, right? Like this is up there with the top. He
Yeah,
is so
totally.
faithful.
And he was so into the character Ryan Reynolds that for the scene where he's wearing that tank top with the what was it, Golden Girls shirt? Did you hear about that? He paid all the royalties necessary so that they can wear that shirt.
Really.
Yeah.
Cool. So
there it is. Ryan Reynolds paid $10,000, which went to charity, to wear the shirt with Bea Arthur on it. Because
So, Bea
Deadpool
Arthur
loves
from the holiday special. Good pull.
Well-
Keep going. What were you
so
saying?
that is this is something like Ryan Reynolds loves
This is a passion
this
project.
character. Yeah, it is very much his Dwayne the Rock Johnson Black Adam.
Ghost Rider to Nick Cage.
Ghost Rider to Nick Cage. Great pull. Yeah. So Ryan Reynolds said in 2004 Ryan Reynolds was called out in a Deadpool comic in a panel. They mentioned that he looked like a mix of Ryan Reynolds and some other guy. And then 2004 was also Blade Trinity, and he said in that movie he got a lot of comments. You should play Deadpool. So then he got the chance in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but he said from Blade Trinity to this movie 2016, every character he played, he said he used Deadpool as an inspiration to bring that character to life. I think that is something like 18 movies he did.
So he's been developing this character
So
for that
he
long.
has been, this is, like you said, a passion project for him.
and we
I-
definitely can tell in Blade Trinity, that's just Deadpool.
Right. And same in the opening scene of X-Men Origins before they sew his mouth shut and give him katana arms. You know, he tries. He at least tries with the quips, the merc with the mouth, as they say.
Yeah, I think he was putting the cart before the horse in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and they didn't write the character how he wanted Deadpool to be.
I mean, they butchered him.
They butchered him.
Let's be fair here.
They butchered him, yeah, but he still tried to play him how he wanted to play him.
Yeah, I mean, for the one scene that he could, and they sewed his. Can you? I remember that as a kid, hearing that they sewed Deadpool's mouth shut, and I was like, "Isn't that the guy who like talks a lot?" They sewed his mouth shut.
I loved the callbacks to that movie.
Yeah,
in
good.
Deadpool.
See, those jokes are what really ring for
the
me.
meta stuff is so
Yes,
good.
I do like the meta stuff a lot, especially all the call outs to the X-Men and the it's like Charles or McAvoy. You know, these timelines are so confusing. Like I like that
Right.
stuff. That stuff's
Yes.
fun.
It rewards the viewers who have been there since the beginning. They know the struggle of the X-Men series, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's some fluff in there."
To be fair though, X-Men is flying very high, right? Is the last one we saw Days of Future Past.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the last one in the timeline of this. I mean, we're
good
about,
movie.
we're about to have Apocalypse, which brings it down.
It's an
but
apocalypse.
X-Men's
Maybe,
riding high right
maybe.
now. Maybe. Yeah, we don't know.
Been a
We haven't
long
seen it in a
time.
while.
And how about what's her name? Negaton Teenage Warhead wearing the yellow suit?
Yeah, she did have shades of yellow in that suit.
It's funny, I saw a post this week that was like the only time that Hugh Jackman has used
sent me
the
that, yeah.
official Wolverine suit in a movie was in Flushed Away.
Goated film right there.
When he
yeah.
holds it up to himself at the beginning.
Until Deadpool 3.
Until Deadpool 3.
Isn't Flushed Away animated?
Yeah.
It's stop motion. I think it's animated stop motion, yeah.
Interesting. Wow. As far as those jokes go, like the one I really wanted to point out was the Green Lantern one. Don't make the super suit green or animated. It's a very, like, to put it in recent context, it's a very Nick Cage Superman-esque, spoilers for The Flash after the spoiler. It is a very, it's a very that type. Like, you have to have seen this terrible movie from 5 years ago to get the reference, you know, that he played. Like, and also, like, how many people get this kind of chance? He's been in, like, 4 superhero movies.
Yeah.
And now he finally gets I mean, many people don't get the chance to do stuff like this after 4 or so failed attempts. All those movies are objectively
Blade
pretty
2's good.
bad.
Oh, wait.
Blade 3. That's Blade 3.
That's something I want to say real quick. They flub up the reference in this movie. They say, "You ready for your midnight showing of Blade 2?"
Yeah.
Blade 2? Why not say Blade Trinity? He was
Blade
in the
Trinity.
movie. Oh,
Because Blade Trinity sucks. That's why.
I know it sucked, but
Another good poll. And the last thing I'll say for jokes is they didn't have
the
enough.
last thing you'll say for
Last
jokes.
thing, we're done with the jokes.
This movie's all jokes.
Throw 'em out.
The
Yeah.
last thing I'll say, I don't know.
Okay, I've got some things I wanna
Many of
say.
the jokes didn't, but I think one that's really good is we didn't have enough money. Almost like you didn't have enough money to pay for another. Ethan referenced it at the top of the show. Almost like you didn't have enough money to pay for any of the other X-Men.
So I think that's a good
Oh, you want me to pull it
rolling-
up?
Do budget, yeah. So
Okay.
this budget is so. I think it was 58 mil. if I'm
58
wrong.
mil. This
Yeah.
is the
That's
not,
unheard of.
not the lowest budget. I mean, Howard the Duck's still pulling strong
For
with
a superhero
30
film.
mil.
30 mil. Howard
But-
the Duck.
Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance was 57 mil. Blade Trinity was 65. Elektra was 65. New Mutants was 67.
So this movie is 58, right?
Yeah, this is
58 for Deadpool, and what 67 for Elektra?
yeah.
Oh
Yes, 67 for Elektra.
Wow.
And this is the 7th lowest budget in our Marvel watch through.
7th?
Yeah, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance is 6th. Blade 2 is 5th.
How much is Blade 2 made for?
Its budget was 54.
Wow.
Blade was 45. Punisher Warzone
But
was 35.
compare
the
this
Punisher
to
was 33.
Holy cow.
the Thomas Jane Punisher.
2004 Punisher.
That's
goated
crazy,
film.
man.
Yeah.
Goated film.
And then coming in last place, Howard the Duck.
So
30
can you
million.
compare this to the budgets at the time? So the Captain America Winter Soldier or
yeah, what was that?
let me
X-Men
see.
Days of Future
Had to have been
Past. What are
200
those
plus.
numbers?
Let me go back. Oof, I don't know if I can do that. I haven't organized it like that, but we can. Let me see. So Civil War was 250.
Yeah. That is 200 million more than
Let me,
this Deadpool movie.
What about our last movie that just came out? Fant
Yeah, that's perfect, Paul.
Holy
Four
crap.
Stick was 120 mil.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
Twice this
Oh,
budget.
yeah, basically.
Oof.
And how much did this make?
Fan Four Stick made 167 mil.
Yeah.
This made $782 million. This is our highest profit ratio movie of the whole list. Second, the whole list. Full stop.
Yeah.
You gotta
Second
give it
place is
props.
No Way Home
Yeah.
with a $200 million budget for $1.8 billion revenue.
Yeah. Yeah. That was.
Yeah,
That
that
was
is
a big one.
crazy. Third place is Venom. Isn't that weird? I think that without Deadpool, the Venom movies wouldn't have existed. Like the Sony,
I mean, yeah.
the Sony like darker humor kind of stuff wouldn't exist.
Don't even compare.
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
Morbius may not have existed if not for Deadpool.
You know, thank you, Deadpool.
Thank you, Deadpool.
You gave us Morbius.
Morbin time. That's true. That's a good point.
So this movie made $782 million.
Wow.
This made the same amount as like Spider-Man 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, Love and Peak, The Amazing Spider-Man. All these movies, Days of Future Past even made that much. But with a $58 million budget,
Yeah.
it's amazing the quality of this movie for
It is.
$58
And
million.
even so, in the final scene, there's them in the taxi with our great Spider-Man actor. Which Spider-Man does he play? Mumbai. Spider-Man Mumbai.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
him?
Same guy. Yeah.
I'm as flabbergasted
Taxi
as like
driver.
a holy crap.
Pravkar,
Yeah.
whatever
Peter
it is.
Pravakar? Pavatir Pravakar?
Yeah, that's it.
The same guy.
Holy cow,
So, but
wow.
when they're in the taxi and he
Batu?
leaves,
Is that his name?
he leaves the bag of guns. Initially, that final scene, they were supposed to use those guns, but they found out that the marketing budget
Dopinder.
was included in their film, so they couldn't do that final set piece with all those guns because they had to advertise the film. This is something I read a
Holy
long time
cow.
ago. You can fact check that, but that just shows like how tight they were on the budget of this movie, how little wiggle room they had.
Whoa, that's interesting to me because I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but I felt like the final fight dragged on a bit. I felt like it went on too long. But I don't know if that was kind of a me thing. It just
I
from
could
when
see
it
that.
started to when it ended, and also, are they fighting on a shield helicarrier?
That's what I thought. I don't
So-
think it was.
They said that it was Shield helicarrier inspired, but they couldn't reference the Shield helicarrier because
okay.
that,
So
that's
it's not-
MCU. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because when that thing tipped over, I was like, wait a minute, that's something that totally went over my head when I was 16. But as an educated viewer, I'm like, what? Is that a helicarrier? Did they do that? I guess it's inspired.
Yeah, so I would agree that the last fight scene kind of dragged. Whenever they're using fists, it just doesn't interest me, especially when it's just not as interesting of combat as the
Katanas.
the katanas and the guns and the I think the best this is one of the best examples of slow-mo shootout we've ever seen
Yeah.
in the watch. I mean, even compared to something like what's another comic movie with slow-mo? I can think of Black Adam.
Dude,
That one had a lot of slow-mo in
Blade
it.
2.
Zack Snyder's Justice
Oh.
League.
Oh yeah, that's got a ton.
That's got a probably
Like
too
so much.
much slow mo.
The counting down the shots
Yeah,
scene,
that's
that's
cool.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
The car accident where it flips around, the slow mo, the intro. We didn't even talk about the opening credit.
Great. The
quote
opening
unquote
credits are really good.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Really
Rebecca was watching it and she didn't catch on for like the first few things. She's like, "Wait, some cool guy, directed by some overpriced tool?
Yeah.
What?" And when she found out Ryan Reynolds was in this, then she got pretty interested in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She was like, "Ryan Reynolds is in this?"
Me and her both.
Then he showed up with his regular face.
Avocado face.
Yeah, with his regular face in the flashback when it first started all the way back
Okay,
in like
yeah.
the pizza guy scene, and she's like, "Wow, he's so hot."
She just said that.
Yeah, it's like Rebecca. I mean, I know, but
You gotta calm down here.
yeah.
She fell in. Yeah.
What do you guys think of him as a mercenary? Did he feel like a mercenary in this
Bro,
movie?
he felt like that my biggest problem with this movie is I get it, Deadpool, he's an anti-hero but even to me with the best anti-heroes, I root for them in a way. I never felt like, yeah, he has cancer and that sucks.
Yeah,
It
you
just
sympathize
does.
for that part.
But I never felt like, man, I really care for this guy.
Yeah.
And it was even to the point when Colossus at the end was like, you have a chance, right? 4 to 5 choices. That's all it takes to be a hero. And I'm like, heck yeah, Deadpool. All right, maybe this will be his arc. He'll be a hero. And he shoots him. He shoots Francis. So
And
I'm
that's
like,
the point of-
that is the point of the movie, and that's what people love about the character. It's just, to me, this whole time I was waiting for a moment to where I'm like, because I wanted to love this
Yeah.
movie. I do. And I want to love this character. And I like him in those ways. Like, I'm excited to see what the heck he's going to do in 2023 You know, in 2024 with Deadpool 3, you know, you get Hugh Jackman, you get all these
coming out next year.
whatever. Whenever it comes out, I'm excited to see like a modern time Deadpool movie, what the references will look like there. Like if we get a shout out to Secret Invasion and how bad that would be really cool by Deadpool himself. But I don't know. I was waiting to be endured to the character, and I never was like, I love this guy.
Right. I agree. That's a great point because, and I think you'll never have, that's the problem, at least for me, you're never going to have as much investment in a character like Deadpool as you are in like a character like Captain America or Iron Man.
So Iron Man's a great comparison because Iron Man's a character that the challenge was, you know, you write this character that audiences are supposed to hate, but they love anyway.
Yes.
And I look at all the characteristics of Tony that you're like, yeah, he's a terrible guy, but I love him anyway. But Deadpool, he's just kind of this bad guy, right? And nothing, yeah, sure, the love story motive pushes the story, but he's in love with a hooker, and it's, I don't know, I don't care. I don't care about this character. And that's probably where, I know, this is like a cult classic film. People love this movie, but I just am I'm just talking through my thoughts right now.
No.
Did you guys see my my Letterboxd review? I don't know if you guys understood
Very
it.
based. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
my Letterboxd review is the superheroification of a blue collar worker.
Coming from two blue collar workers for a time in our lives. Yes. Understood.
This movie caters to three groups. One, the OG Deadpool crowd.
Yep.
Two, the people who like Spider-Man growing up, and then they were like college students when this came out, and they're like, oh yeah, this is like edgy Spider-Man kind of.
Yep.
And then three, the blue collar workers who totally see themselves being this guy.
Yeah, because this takes me right back to my days in the trades. Like,
Oh yeah,
his humor is right there. Yep.
it's right there.
Yep.
I could totally see a blue collar worker going to see this movie and not even thinking it's raunchy at all. Like it's just daily life. Because it totally is exactly what normal people talk like
But even
in
then,
the trades.
like, there's a point in this film where they say stuff, and I'm not faulting it because it's Deadpool, but for me, it's like, what? That is just so insane that you would even say that. Like the one where his one buddy says, it looks like you had like sex with the topographical map of Utah, and like it's like, what does that even mean? Like, where did that sentence
saying that?
Where did that sentence come from? Like, it's so out there that I'm like, but it's Deadpool. It's just that's the kind of jokes that pull me out and make me go, what?
It's like,
Right.
I'm a little uncomfortable now.
Especially with almost every
Like one
scene.
of the first scene between him and Vanessa, they're talking about getting like molested, right? And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
they're like
I'm like-
one-upping each other
I'm like,
with their.
I don't, that's
Yeah,
not,
no,
I don't
I didn't
need
like
that.
that.
I don't need that.
No.
And then on the Deadpool board, the first name listed on there, you know, Bill Cosby. Just right, and you're like, okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I think that what they're doing though, I said it earlier. They're throwing as many darts on the board as they can, and as soon as you start to cringe at a joke, they've got another one right there to catch you back up. And I think that's what this movie does best. It like strings you along as fast as possible. It moves really quick. How long was this movie?
It is. It
It
is a
felt like
really. It's a well-paced
or is it
movie.
2
I'd
hours?
say. Yeah, it's like an hour 50. Hour 50.
Hour
something like
48.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that long.
No.
And I love the pacing of the first part of it, where first it starts you with the car wreck, then it brings you back to something more serious, and then once it starts to slow down, it goes back to the car scene, and then it keeps flopping back
Right,
and
it-
forth. It holds your hand through the whole
It
thing.
structures itself in a way where they're like, we know people want to just see Deadpool.
Yeah.
So if we open with him being Deadpool, you know, sitting on the bridge, I think that's really cool. That scene, he's sitting on the bridge, he's singing, he drops down on the highway. That's cool. That's a good opening because it sets a tone like, all right, we're not going to have 40, 50 minutes of Ryan Reynolds with cancer. Yeah. We know that's not what the fans want. We'll start him right off with him being Deadpool.
Because if there was studio interference with this movie, like heavy, they would have started it with the drama part, with like getting to know him in the bar, and then we moved on to meeting Vanessa, and then we moved on to that part, and then we get the cancer, and then he goes to Francis, and then he, like the superhero movies of the past, they would have done that.
Yes.
They would have done it chronologically, and it wouldn't have been very interesting. It wouldn't have grabbed everybody's attention. Wouldn't have, you know, as Deadpool would say, wouldn't have fondled the balls of the of the audience.
But Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds and everyone involved in this movie were so committed to getting it right.
Yeah,
that I
and
think you
that's
could
what
see
this
it.
movie
Yeah.
does well,
Yeah.
is that it makes sure that the people that want it, they got the movie,
Yep.
right?
They did. They did. You know what I want to go to right now is that the scene when he does have cancer, he goes to Francis, who is the character we got to talk about, pretty much the main antagonist of the film, and just the concept when I was watching that got a visceral reaction out of me, the concept of him going in that chamber and being held right between like losing consciousness but also like not losing
For a
consciousness,
whole
like
weekend, dude. Oh,
holy, just the thought of that, like that, it really made me like, that's horror right
yeah,
there
you can
for me.
feel that in your lungs just thinking about it. Like, oh, that shortness of breath. Like you're always
Yeah.
at a loss for air. Oh,
Dude,
man.
I'm feeling it right now. I gotta like I gotta take a deep breath, man. Let's
I
talk,
think that's the weakest part of the movie, though, is the
Ooh.
Francis stuff.
I was gonna say, let's talk
The
about
villain,
Francis.
Yeah, because
This is-
I think that they are aware that the Francis scenes were kind of boring, so they had
Well,
they had him say stuff, and then to contrast Deadpool saying stuff, or to contrast the seriousness of the scene, to go alongside it, he doesn't say things, and that's when you know things are serious, and it takes you into a more serious mode, because he just went through all this torture over the weekend, and now Francis is like, all right, what's my name? Nothing. And you expect him to say something, but he doesn't. And that's where the writing is a bit better. But like, is it writing? Is it the lack of writing? I don't know.
I don't know. To me, it's just a case of here's a villain who is like the hero, but is a villain.
Yeah,
They both
that was my
can't
favorite
feel
part
pain,
of the villain.
or they re-heal quick. So death is not like a constantly on your mind. You never feel the character is in danger. And this movie makes a joke out of pretty much everything. So it's basically a humor-filled movie. But I think the villain this is not a standout.
And it's not supposed to be. I think that if
No.
the villain were if the villain overshadowed Deadpool, then people would have complained, because it would have gotten too much screen time. It wouldn't have been like, people wouldn't have cared. I mean, I don't care about Francis, and if they put more of him, like, I don't want to hear more about Francis.
Right.
I don't care about Francis. All I want him to do is motivate Deadpool to go do Deadpool things and slice more people in half.
There's some pretty good jokes at his expense in this movie too. So I'm gonna spell it out for
Ajax.
you. That's a good one. And then just the Francis bit whenever he calls him that.
He's named
His
after
name-
the bottle of soap, the dish soap.
Yeah, his name's Francis. Like that's good. I like them playing, but you're just not gonna have that intimidating of a villain. And maybe you're right. Maybe that wasn't what it was going for.
And that's what a lot of our movies have been doing. For the first movie, they put in a villain that has a recognizable name, maybe, and they have a lot of story, but they throw them away. We've had that before.
Yeah, many times. Yeah.
Yeah, they get the villain in with the name, like with what's his name from Iron Man 3?
Mandarin.
Mandarin. Remember, he was supposed to be
Yeah.
this big comic book villain.
Or Doctor Doom
Who's
from
thrown away.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And they just have him to fill seats.
Right. It acknowledges like, hey, we don't want to.
And
That's something they do a lot with Marvel films, especially now. Like Thor: Love and Thunder is a
They have no
huge
commitment.
example of this. Is because
Gore the God Butcher.
Right, Gore the God Butcher, who has a huge arc in the comics, and then Mighty Thor, Jane Foster Thor, huge arc, and they kind of throw both those in one movie and literally kill both those characters. So it's like, yeah, you'd like them to not always need to throw an A-list villain into the dumpster, right?
Right.
Because I was thinking about Loki the other day and how why even for Loki season 2 we're so hyped for that, and he was the first Avengers villain
Sweet
we
and
had.
sour sauce.
Like I was thinking about this with Sandman. Like, how dope would it be if Sandman was just a part of the Avengers? I know it's like but you have these villains who can be redeemed and then can start contributing to the movie.
Yeah.
Still, you don't have to always introduce a good character like Killmonger and then kill him, right? You can have these characters, but kind of going along the way, like they did want to kill Francis, so it's good that they didn't make him like Sabretooth or Magneto, you know? Or I don't even know who Deadpool's main antagonist is. Maybe it is Francis.
There isn't really
I think
one.
it's just the
because
X-Men, isn't it?
you know what? And this goes along to your point, Micah. Deadpool doesn't really have a main nemesis because everything is a joke. It's hard to make everything a joke and also have someone be as intimidating, be his main villain. So, guess for that, the movie gets points. You know.
What do you guys think about his sidekicks, Colossus and Negaton
A moody
teenager Warhead?
A moody teenager. Yeah. I like
I like the
Colossus.
riffs on them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Every character in this movie, I like how Deadpool riffs off of them. You know.
So what'll it be? Brooding silence or snarky comment? You got me trapped in a box here.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I didn't really care for either of them. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Everyone in this movie is just there to amplify the character of Deadpool.
yeah, and he is like, I'll say this. For as much as there are some times when he kind of annoys me, I would say he's the best part of this movie. You
Oh,
know?
for sure. And
I think Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he has the best. Oh, I mean, the movie's Deadpool. And when you make Deadpool the best part of the movie, you've done a good job. You know, many times we've seen that not happen. We didn't even have a favorite Fantastic Four character, and there were 4 main characters in that one. So to have all of them fail, like that's pretty bad. But this is a good example of that. So, is there anything else we want to say about Deadpool before we get into favorite character, scene, and score?
what about the old lady? I thought she was pretty funny.
I did not like almost any scene that she was in.
I liked some of her one-liners. I liked how she just had all these guns. Oh no, she just had the one gun. Never mind, that was old Deadpool's. I don't know. I guess my thoughts about the old lady are as blind as she is.
It's just, I don't know. I mean, he was making some of the most sus comments with her around.
Yeah,
and
I did feel
was like,
uncomfortable.
whoa, this is like. a
But I
little too
like
much
the
for
IKEA
Ben.
stuff. No,
IKEA was good.
because I
The
just went to
thing
IKEA.
falling over.
Rebecca and I, we love IKEA.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, that didn't really like the
not
old
much
lady.
else to say about her.
Yeah, not a
But
fan.
man, I miss Craig.
I didn't like. Vanessa though. She
Kind of just a damsel in distress,
no.
wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't say
I mean,
that.
she didn't hold her own in any of the fight.
I mean, she comes back and absolutely mollywops a sword into the guy
Well,
at the end of
yeah,
the
but
movie. And
so?
also, like, she's not in most of it because she is, like, she's with Deadpool and then he leaves her.
Yeah,
But I also really like the actress. She's in a lot of good stuff. I just,
oh, that's why I forgot it. The Stan Lee cameo that was in the strip club scene, and I missed it because I skipped it.
yeah, Stan Lee cameo.
He was the DJ.
Can Stan Lee have a bad cameo? I still think this is a good one. I like this one.
was
I'm not
pretty
gonna lie. it was funny. Yeah, well, we can't forget to mention Stan Lee.
We
Anything
can talk about
else?
T.J. Miller.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
The return of Fred, though, from Big Hero 6, our main man.
That is true.
We got him sitting. We got him sitting on the desk.
He's aged up a bit.
He
That is true.
Yeah, a little more mature.
What'd you think?
I just kept thinking of Fred. He's got the same voice. So yeah,
That
that's
is true.
Fred.
Yeah,
This is a different Miller than Lord and Miller, right?
Oh
Tim
yeah.
Miller.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Tim
different
Miller.
different guy.
Okay,
It's all connected.
I don't know.
Different guy.
Yeah.
So let's do favorite character. Micah. When it comes to Deadpool, who do you got? Who you got? Who's your favorite? Who do you enjoy
Who
the
I
most?
got? I mean, who else, if not the best character in the movie? You know the one I'm gonna say, because I sure do.
No.
Francis.
I don't know.
Vanessa?
Dopinder. I'll say Dopinder.
Dopinder is high.
Yeah,
That is an A+.
I mean,
for
like
me.
everyone can
Yep.
say Deadpool, but Dopinder, I think, is the hidden star of this movie.
in the 3 scenes he's in.
He has the most. He has the
And
only
how-
character arc.
He totally murdered his cousin.
Totally, dude.
Right?
Did he murder his cousin, or did he
What?
just have him in the
Yes,
He
back?
got
got
still alive.
rear-ended, and the
But he
back
was
of his
still
car
screaming.
got crushed.
Yeah, he was still
He's
screaming,
dead.
though.
Yeah, he's dead. and
Yeah.
it's totally Dopinder's fault. But hey, I'm totally
And
for
I
it
think
because
the
now we can
humor
deal
was
with-
the best when he was present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. I like the way him and Deadpool play
You're
off each other.
supposed to show her love, kill him,
Yes.
kidnap her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. I love that part. I don't know. I'm looking at the cast list. There really aren't many characters.
That stood out.
There aren't really many characters.
That is
There's Wade, Vanessa,
That's
Weasel,
true.
Ajax, Dopinder, Warlord, Colossus, Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, Pizza Guy, Gavin, Megan Orlovsky, and then extras.
Orlovsky. Ethan, who's your favorite?
That's it.
I set up top Colossus. I think that
Not Agent
for
Smith?
me, not Agent Smith, no. Colossus, because Colossus is my voice of reasoning. Whenever Colossus is present and whenever he's talking to Wade Wilson, he's saying all the things I want him to say.
Yeah.
And as he's just such a pure guy. Even in that final fight when the actress from Mandalorian, yeah,
good pull.
when her shirt comes down and he's like, "Oh, whoa, I'll let you pull that out." You know, such a modest dude, and in a very crude movie, I
I thought
find
that was kind of cringe.
but in a way, it is in a way, but I'm saying he's my voice of reasoning. He is. He's the character I look at and I go, Deadpool, just listen to this guy. I know that sounds stupid because Colossus is the guy who's supposed to be a foil to Deadpool, and I'm supposed to love Deadpool, but Deadpool, a guy who's whispering like, "Oh, you got this guy in your trunk. Go kill him. Go murder him."
Yeah.
Like, come on. To me, that's not what heroes do. And I know he's not a hero, anti-hero, whatever. I just get caught up on it. I like Colossus. We'll roll on.
I'll go Deadpool real quick. You said that you didn't like the moment where, or at least it's not as good when he shoots him in the head at the end. I love that because it just totally captures. Usually I'd be like, yeah, you know what, do that. But in a Deadpool movie, I want to see it. And you probably do too. It's just you can't relate to it as much. But I love that he just shoots him. And he's like, oh, well, whatever. You know, let's get the heck out of here. Let's match things up. And sometimes you need heroes like that because it's like, all right, this dude's an idiot, you know? Take him down. He's been an idiot this whole time. Very Punisher-like, you know? It feeds that part of my vengeance, I guess. But yes, Deadpool I think is the best part of this movie. I think we could all take him, but those two are good. Those two are good pulls with an honorable mention for Vanessa. I think she the actress for her, which I'm blanking on her name. I always forget her name. But
I got it.
It's like Monica Beretta.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, Morena Baccarin.
Yes. So she did great too.
That's not how you pronounce the last name. but whatever.
Favorite scene. Favorite scene in the Deadpool
Car accident
film?
scene, hands down.
Car accident scene.
Yep, the one where
Yeah,
where it flips over, and then the guy gets flipped onto the. 'Cause it's the payoff of the intro, the opening crawl with all the slow-mo shots. You get to see
Yeah,
okay,
and there's like Easter eggs planted in there.
yeah,
Like
the
you see
Green Lantern card.
and the cigarette lighter. You're like, what is that from? And then later in the scene, you get to see him
That's a
you know,
good
burn
one.
on the guy's head and throw it in his mouth. So
There's so many cool little things like, ooh, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. And then it all pays off in 2 seconds, and then it flips over. Did I leave the oven on? Yeah, it's just great things like that. And then the guy just gets very The Boys vibe of him being
Yes.
flown onto that sign. And yeah, I liked it. Very gruesome. It set up the tone for the rest of the movie.
Yes, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan, you got a scene?
No, yeah, I know Micah just said it. I take that scene too, though. I really like it the way he's sitting on the bridge and he drops down onto the highway. I think all that is the test footage that leaked that Ryan Reynolds may or may not have leaked. You know, he said it. They filmed it. It sat on a shelf for 4 years. And then it somehow got released to the public, and the public demanded they make a Deadpool movie. That's how this movie came to be. The fans wanted it. The fans got it. The fans loved it. But I like that scene, that highway scene. I think it showcases, all right, this is Deadpool, you know. It sets you up. Like, in that scene, it's talking about, like, oh, what? Your boyfriend told you were coming to see a superhero movie? Yeah, this is
Rebecca looked at me.
a little
She
different.
was like,
That's good.
not
Yeah.
what I expected.
It's like it's enough to where you're sitting in the theater, and if you're like, oh, my 3-year-old kids, I shouldn't have brought them. We gotta leave. You know, I like it. It sets the vibe for the movie. Yeah,
Yeah, this is not Paddington 2 when you're sitting for John Wick 3.
that's amazing.
Or 4.
You're in John
Good
Wick 4
pulls.
and the whole family, grandparents and grandkids roll up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a specific element of that highway scene. We're all gonna go with it, I guess.
Really?
The count 'em down sequence.
Oh, that's cool.
That is so good.
Bam, bam,
The guns.
bam.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, just how frustrated he's getting with not being able to kill these guys. And then Colossus showing up as well, and he punches him, Dad? And like, that's
doesn't
good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, yeah, he doesn't, that's right, that's true. He doesn't punch it. I think he punches him later. But the highway scene, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff.
I liked it all the way up until Colossus and Megasonic whatever was introduced and distract Deadpool from doing his thing, because I feel like that scene could have had just a little bit more of just him doing Deadpool things to Francis, and this 1 year plan of his just kind of,
Yeah.
why would he ever put that on a backseat? That's the only character motive I don't think would take a backseat.
That's a good criticism.
Even in a joking way. Like, he could have put it differently.
Yeah. Okay.
But I did like that he was still beating up on him while he was talking to
Yes.
Colossus. And then ends the scene with him cutting off the hand with the middle finger and the handcuff.
And we got to talk about like such an iconic gif when he turns around and Francis is gone and he's like, you know, it's a
Classic.
great
That's
screenshot.
the Deadpool
Yeah.
screenshot. And then we can't forget to talk about the Ferris Bueller Day Off reference
End credit scene.
in the end credit
Yep.
scene. Rebecca was watching that with me, and she was like, that was her first time watching the whole movie, by the way. And she's like, I've seen this before. Oh, I've totally seen this before. Yeah, because we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off like a month ago.
That's where you know it from.
Yeah.
I'm
You're still here?
interested to see Cable in the sequel. I'm not gonna lie. Josh Brolin. Forgot he was.
Oh, we don't
in
know who
2
he's gonna be
superhero
yet.
movies. That's true. That is true.
And I'm pretty sure they reference him as Thanos. And because didn't it come out around the same time?
Oh, literally the same month.
Oh, I mean, he's
Of
been
2018.
Thanos forever, right? Wasn't
Yes.
he Thanos since like Iron Man
Yes,
or something?
No, in Guardians of the Galaxy he is.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin, but even then, it's still like I can't believe they came out the same month.
Yeah, and
That's why
Deadpool 2,
Solo bombed.
I
That's
wonder
right.
if they saw the feedback from Deadpool and they were like, okay, we did what we wanted to do with Deadpool. We did like the whole to the extreme bits, and now we're gonna kind of. I forget how the sequel goes.
So do you feel like it's toned down a little more?
I feel like Deadpool 2 is more. Have you seen Deadpool 2?
No.
Oh, so I'm the only one who's seen
I
both
haven't- yeah,
Deadpool 2.
yeah.
I feel like they toned it down more, but I forgot how it goes. All I remember was coming out and watching it. Same bedroom that I watched it into, by the way.
Okay.
The 27-inch screen.
Good to
Right.
know.
And I was like, yeah, that was a lot more tame than the first.
Okay.
Which I think,
Well,
you
that's
know,
good.
maybe me and Ben will enjoy it more.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what they do with the third one. How
Yes.
tame
Yes.
that'll be, because the rumors for that, you know, TVA are involved. The multiverse, it's going to be a big multiverse movie. People are going to want to see that. And if I know people went out to see this movie, but if there are elements to Deadpool 3 that are similar to this, I don't know. I'm going to see it regardless, but
Loki.
these are movies. Marvel is something that I want to enjoy with people. And this Deadpool movie is something I feel like that is something that we can't take a group of 20 people to go see this.
No,
we can't.
That is true. That's a good point. Yeah. I'm hoping. Could you imagine if it is PG-13 released?
People
Could you
would be
imagine
mad.
how you know
Yeah.
how much
It wouldn't work.
It's
good stuff that Deadpool would be able to pull because it's PG-13? Like he can't swear because it's PG-13. Dang it, I can't do this. Like
Well, do you know about Deadpool 2? With
Yes, I
Once
do.
Upon a
Yeah.
Deadpool? Yeah, they did that and it didn't go over so well.
no, it didn't.
No. I haven't
There's
seen
many
it, though.
cuts of the Deadpool too. I think I remember that. There's 3.
I'm
I
gonna
think.
watch the super duper whatever cut for this.
I'm gonna
next
watch the theatrical just
Okay.
because I haven't seen it. But yeah, gentlemen, it's time for scores. It's time for
Yep,
scores, guys.
I believe so.
Yep. Ethan, I'm
Do you
gonna
want to hear what the internet
Yeah.
thinks?
Oh, that's right.
We also
That's
have
true.
our famous Hollywood Reporter article
That's
that
true.
we can never forget about.
It's been a while, guys.
been way too long.
You ready to see what the Hollywood Reporter? So,
Ready.
where do you guys think the Hollywood Reporter would rank this?
I think people love this movie.
Yep.
People do love this
I'm
movie.
not one of them, but I do think the general consensus is this one is pretty good. And I think it's probably top 20, I want to say.
Top 20?
Yeah.
Top
Okay.
15. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys think it's better or worse than, I don't know, Big Hero 6.
Well, I don't remember where they put Big Hero 6, but
That's good.
that feels like something that they enjoyed. They both have T.J. Miller. They both. I say they put it worse. You know what?
Yeah, what's the better TJ Miller film?
I think Hollywood Reporter liked Big Hero 6.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, Big Hero 6 was number 17.
Oh.
Deadpool is number 21.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Deadpool 2 is number 20.
Oh, okay.
So you were close with the top 20.
Huh.
So what is
Interesting.
So number 19 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
okay.
20 is Deadpool 2. 21 is Deadpool. 22 is Far From Home.
Huh.
And 23 is
Ooh,
Multiverse of
nice.
Madness.
Okay, maybe a valid ranking on that one.
Yeah,
Far From Home is
I'd say it's
badly
fair.
overhated.
Okay.
it's fair. But let's see what the internet thinks. So Rotten Tomatoes critic is an 85, audience is a 90, Metacritic is a, let me highlight all right, 65, Metacritic users an 8, IMDb is an 8, and Letterboxd is a 3.7 out of 5, averaging a 7.9 out of 10.
7.9.
Pretty high.
Okay,
That's 18th place
that's not bad.
for our internet review.
People like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's highly reviewed. It made all that money. I mean, a movie doesn't just make $700 million and it's bad,
Nope.
right? Except Screen Crush put it in the lower half, but whatever. That's another thing.
Good on
But
them.
all that aside,
Yeah, right.
this is the real reason why you're watching this podcast.
The real ranking.
The real ranking here.
Yep. So let's start with Ethan.
I know we're gonna let the listeners down. I think people love this movie, and I'm not one of them. And we just got to be honest with how we feel.
You have to. Yep.
I appreciate what this movie does. I like the meta-ness of it. I like what they call out. It feels very Scream to me. If you've seen Scream, you know that movie gets very meta in a way that isn't as meta as this, but this feels like the Scream of the superhero genre. So I like the meta-ness of that, and I like it. It works sometimes, but a lot of the times the humor doesn't work. It gets too raunchy for me. It's to the point where I feel like, yeah, I should turn this off. I don't like the way this is making me feel. And I should never get that watching a superhero movie. Never. I love superhero movies. This is something we love talking about. But
Yeah.
this isn't something that, when I think of superhero movies, it's something that brings people together. But I never want to get a group of people together to watch this. I just don't. It doesn't make me feel good watching this. But that being said, though, I do appreciate the direction. I know that this is a Deadpool movie made for Deadpool fans. Ryan Reynolds is a passion project of his. So I appreciate the craftsmanship that all goes into it. But that being said, it's not a movie for me. So I have to say that this, I was initially thinking a 7. And I know that might be a little low. But I know I put Blade at a 7. And like, I hate to say this, man. I enjoy Blade a little more than I enjoy Deadpool. So I'm going 6.5 for Deadpool.
6.5.
That's low, I know.
So what do you say to the criticism of if someone was to come and say, well,
Wait, what'd you say
Blade,
again? 7 points. What?
Huh?
What'd you say again?
6.5.
6.5. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. It's been a while.
so what do you say to someone who comes up to you and says, well, you can't take a group to see Blade. That's rated R too. You know? Is that a valid criticism?
Yeah, sure. But I think compare the number of F-bombs in this movie versus Blade, compare the sexual jokes and the references and the literal nudity in this movie. Whereas I think, like Blade says, some mother effer's always trying to ice skate up. It's funny, dude. It's funny. He's not talking about avocados having sex. You know, it's completely different, right? So, yeah, that would be my answer to
Good
that.
point. I was playing devil's advocate there with you. I agree. Micah, we got a 6.5. Where are you going?
I think the way we have to grade this movie is whether or not TJ Miller's performance is greater or lesser than his previous.
I think it's lesser, man. I do. I think Fred's iconic.
Yeah,
Fred
Fred
is
was better.
way
All right.
better. Yeah.
Maybe not then. I like this movie. All right, Deadpool. I wish I saw it for the first time earlier? No, I think I had to wait till I was more mature. I could handle the jokes. I wasn't in my formative years to watch this movie initially, and for me, a lot of the jokes land. You know when the jokes weren't as strong, and that shows, right? Like there are definitely scenes where they're like, all right, we just got to get this scene done and out the door. And there are other scenes where it's like, okay, they really like they threw their punches in this one. And for me, I think that because this is such a faithful adaptation to Deadpool, because this is exactly what they needed to have Deadpool to be, because this is so meta and so just like, it's an adult comedy movie. It's exactly what an adult comedy movie is. It's one of the A-tier adult comedy movies. And really, it's Ryan Reynolds at probably his best. I don't think I've seen a Ryan Reynolds movie has him. I mean, he's trying to be Deadpool in every other movie. And this is him finally getting to be Deadpool.
To be the character he always wanted to.
The flaw for this movie is that the side characters don't even have to be there. And Deadpool can carry this whole thing because he does. And that's what this movie needed to be. So, because of the flaw of it not having good side characters, I'm going to say that this movie is a 7.9 out of 10.
7.9.
Not quite hitting the 9 or the 8 for me because it doesn't quite reach those levels of, all right, my emotions were pulled to a way that I can start to see that. Like the cancer part, that was very emotional, right? But it felt like the writing was a bit childish. Not a bit. It was a bit more like a teenager could have written this script, and like someone who didn't mature very maturedly.
Mature,
you know what I'm getting at. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
so
getting
it
at.
was.
Indeed.
I was watching the Honest trailer today, and they're talking about this movie, and like they're like, "Come to the world where Marvel is rated R and mature, but has jokes for 16-year-old boys."
Yeah.
So
That's exactly what this movie is, and
Good
they knew
pull.
that that's half their audience. So it works. I mean, I laughed a lot. I enjoyed this movie. Rebecca and we had a great time. And I think that the enjoyment of a movie is most of the experience for me. And if I enjoyed a movie that has little to no plot that I care about, which this really doesn't have a plot that matters, but it was quick, it was painless, and it was fun. Not quite a quality enough movie for an 8 for me.
That's fair. So you're going right along with the internet score of 7.9.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
So 7.9
Oh, wow, yeah, it was.
and a 6.5. Okay. I'm going to go with a 7. I'm going 7. Many of Ethan's points are similar to mine, I think. I think I liked a little bit more jokes than you, but even still, it was like, I don't know. Many of the jokes, the humor has evolved since then. I think I go back to 2016. You know, I mean, dabbing was popular during that time. You guys remember that? I mean, that humor has evolved to a great degree to where we are now in 2023, and a lot of the jokes are a little. They're too like. Wow,
And I
okay,
mean, not to
glad-
say that we're the most humorous folks around either.
No,
Right? This movie wasn't written for me.
no, it wasn't. So taking that into account, and also the account of like this is a perfect Deadpool movie for fans, I think it deserves that 7 spot. I didn't hate myself while watching it. I actually had a good time at some points in the film. It goes right along. It toes the line of being a movie I'll never watch again, and a movie I'll maybe revisit until my death. You know,
Definitely,
along. You know, the thing is, I'm not clamoring to see this movie, you know, ever again. But is it a bad movie? I wouldn't say it is. So with a
Right.
score of 6.5, a 7, and a 7.9, that gives us.
Well, one more thing. I
okay,
definitely.
okay.
Oh, real quick. Yeah, I definitely won't see this again for a while, but I'd say that I forgot where I was going with that. Never mind. You said something that triggered a little synapse in my brain.
He's
and
going mad.
interesting.
Yeah.
So 6.5, 7, and a 7.9. You can just cut that bit out.
Nah, it's
And
staying
that
in.
bit.
It's staying in, bro.
Yeah, right. Gotta stay in, man.
7.13 out of 10.
On out of the 40 films.
That's the 40th film, guys. We're halfway to
crazy.
Morbius.
Oh, yes, we
I
are.
mean, Loki. All right. So where does that put us in our ranking? Well, let me just say Blade 2 is 15th place. That was the movie that was mentioned in this movie. Do you think it's above or below Blade 2?
I don't know if anyone went as high as a 7.9 for Blade 2. And no one really went low for Blade 2 either. I don't know. It could be really close. Really close.
That's weird.
I think this is higher.
I think this
right?
is also
This is
higher,
a little higher
yeah.
than Blade 2.
Little lower.
Little lower.
Little lower
Wow.
than Blade 2. So this is 16th place. And oh, might I also add, Big Hero 6 is 17th place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
So our 15th place is Blade 2, 16th is Deadpool, 17th is Big Hero 6, 18th is X-Men 1.
Wow.
Then Blade. Spider-Man 3 is just above Blade 2 at 14th place.
Okay.
But yeah, sitting right there in our low 7 spot, filling in our brackets here. Yeah, looking great. I'd say it's a good fit.
Yeah, I like it there.
I don't mind it there.
I like it
Yeah.
there, right in the middle. You know, it isn't, like I said, not a movie I'm gonna clamor to rewatch.
If you love this movie, let us know. Leave a
Yeah.
comment below. Let us know what we got wrong or like why we're not the right guys to review this movie. We definitely aren't.
Do
We're
we
not.
need some people who drink Monster daily to give us?
But listen, this is our ranking. This is we're putting it in here, and I don't think we're stretching it by saying that there are a lot of better films on this watch through.
Oh, yeah.
like by no account. And I think,
I mean, right now we're saying there's 15 films that are better.
well, yeah, and next week's film I think is probably going to be better. You know,
We'll see.
You know, Ethan, what's next week?
Next week, we got Captain America Civil War.
Ooh, wait, this was the end of our MCU Phase 2 as well.
This Civil War, I'm telling you guys, this is when my Marvel fandom went from like here, it just like Phase 3. I remember just being fully.
Every movie that came out. Yeah.
It was
Remember that
huge.
trailer, man?
Oh, the first one, yes, and then the one with Spider-Man.
Oh, I thought that was the first
And I
trailer.
want to say, no, that was trailer number 2. I remember it because I got out of driver's ed, but we're going to talk about it then. Yes,
Yeah,
we'll talk about
yeah.
it then because there's a lot of nostalgia built up with that film. So I'm greatly excited to talk about that big one. Second Russo brothers outing. Oh, man, there's a lot of good stuff in Civil War, man.
You guys want to see something cool? Check this out.
What's cool?
Phase 2 MCEU phases.
Extended Universe? Is that
Yeah,
what that is
extended
for?
universe. That's
Okay.
all the other ones. Fantastic Four was our only rotten Phase 2 movie.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
So we are looking pretty good,
Good on
for
you,
our
Marvel.
for
Yeah.
our movies.
Tried it up.
Hopefully in Phase 3,
This
we
is the
can have
beginning of
zero.
2016. We've got to see. Fantastic Four was our green, our last bad movie. I don't know when we'll have another bad movie until I guess Apocalypse, right? Is that bad? I don't
Well,
remember.
we'll see, because I don't really remember
Dr.
how that
Cringe?
one went. Dr. Cringe. I remember loving Doctor Strange.
So yeah, for those at home who want the number, our Phase 2 score for the EU, the extended universe, is a 7.35. That is Iron Man 3, The Wolverine, The Dark World, Winter Soldier, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Days of Future Past, Guardians of the Galaxy, Big Hero 6, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Fantastic Four, that's the 2015 one, and Deadpool. There you have it.
Interesting.
Another year.
Another
Yeah.
year.
Another
I know
year
I like these
done.
numbers.
Mm-hmm.
These are cool.
Well,
Guys,
I mean,
look what's right next to it. Into the Spider-Verse is coming up.
holy crap.
Guys, we are
There-
almost there.
Guys, we're not going to, oh man.
We're not slowing down.
There's
We're
good
not
stuff
slowing
coming
down.
up. There's
Oh,
good
yeah.
stuff coming up. That's
and then
right.
look at that. The shows. We're going to have to
Figure out what we're doing with those.
yeah, if we're going to be doing shows. Let us know,
Yeah.
guys. Do you want us to do shows separately
MCU
or do you want us to
shows,
do
yeah.
those with the watch through?
We're definitely going to have to talk about that.
Because I want to rewatch Loki,
I
but
think
I
if
do
we're
not want to
talking-
rewatch Falcon.
If we're talking those shows though, those were originally concept as a lot of those were originally concept as movies.
That is
So,
true.
Straight binging them. Now, when in our schedule we'd be able to sit down, watch 9 episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier in 1 week.
I don't want
Do
to
we
watch
even
that.
want to?
I don't want to. I don't want to
No.
waste my time.
I don't.
I think for continuity though, it would be very helpful.
I would rather skip.
Now, I agree. I would also rather skip, but if there are people who want that to happen, I think we may have to make an exception for those.
I just want to make the boys watch
'Cause, like-
Miss Marvel and She-Hulk.
I'm not doing that. That's my thing.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
I
absolutely
would
do not wanna do that
rewatch.
again.
I would rewatch She-Hulk again. Maybe I would dabble into it, but I would look up essential viewings.
So what if we
I wouldn't
watched,
wanna
what
watch
if we
the whole
watched
thing
the
again.
finales of these?
I could see
shows.
that, or
That's
the
fine.
episode 4s and the finales,
I mean, I would rewatch all of Loki again
and
for the
WandaVision.
third time
I'd
because
rewatch WandaVision.
Loki is fantastic. But again, schedules have to permit.
Yeah.
But that we don't have to worry about that for a while.
But I mean, if y'all just share this podcast around, and then our schedule is the podcast,
it's true.
and this is all we have to do in a week.
I mean, we
Man,
still
that
have
would be
19
awesome.
more movies until Phase 4, so I think we're good to figure this out.
Before we leave, I just want to say like how impressive it is. Like I really didn't think we would get this far
40
into the
movies in.
freaking
Yeah.
Yeah,
marathon. Like
I've added
Guys.
this guy right here. I don't know if you've seen this.
we watched Howard. We watched Elektra. Never in my life did I think I was ever gonna do that, and now it's gonna pay off. Maybe in Deadpool 3.
Isn't that
Are you
crazy?
telling me that was essential viewing for Deadpool 3? Man, I'm so glad I got to watch it for something like this instead of just having to watch it, you know?
Yeah,
It's not like one of those things where we're like, oh, Elektra's going to be in Deadpool 3. We got to watch Elektra. Well, we've already seen it.
we've done our
Gotta
homework.
do it. and It's already
We're
been
good.
done, you know?
And who knows? I've added a couple extra things to. I've added a phase -1 and a phase half.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but we've got a lot of TV movies. They're not TV shows. They're not based on TV shows. They're pilots that failed to create a show that are hour and a half long. So
that's the-
there's a
those
couple
will be
things.
up on the Patreon page.
That's the yeah. That's the thing. If we do shows, we kind of
The main ones I want to see are like the Doctor Strange one, the Punisher,
the Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, there's 2 Incredible Hulk
It's
movies
got
that I
my
want to
boy
watch.
Daredevil in it.
I've
Yeah.
got the Captain America 90s movies. I want to
have
watch
them?
Fantastic Four, Generation X, and the Nick Fury movie for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Generation X.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's like an X-Men movie kind of, but they don't
What?
want to mention X-Men.
Mm.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
That's
and
insane.
then the old school,
That's why it's in phase
the old school
Ben.
Captain America serial. I want to watch that because that's the first film like anything
with superheroes.
superhero thing. Yeah,
Let's get it done.
Okay.
and then the
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Like, there's a lot of stuff in here that is like cult
Iconic.
classic,
Yeah.
iconic stuff.
Here's what I'll say. Let's try and get done with the actual marathon first, and then we'll see if
I'm
we
just
want to
proposing
do
it to our viewers. I mean,
Absolutely.
if anyone wants to hear it,
that. Absolutely.
let us know.
But I think that's going to do it, gentlemen. I think that's going to do it for Deadpool. You have our thoughts.
7.13.
We have 7.13. We have Captain America: Civil War next week. I think that does it. This has been Rayside
This is Ethan Watzlaw.
This is Micah Het.
signing off. We all hope you have an absolutely fantastic day.
The podcast is over. Go home.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
What are you doing here?